YCSJ gave us Psychics, Ursarctic, and even Tri-Brigade action and so much more. Make sure you guys smash the 11 crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. So starting off here with Psychic Punk good stuff. Basically, you've got an overlap of the standard Psychic builds that you're kind of used to having work together with the new support. I'm so used to seeing Punk in Genesis format that it's crazy. But this deck actually did decently well. You do see that we have Gamma and Delta built in the main deck. I mean, these are events where, you know, you don't really get the full craziness with the side deck. You got to make those concessions, you know, where you can. So you got to jam as many of your hand traps into the main deck as you can, you know, try to get in. And of course, I mean, you're already playing Psychics in combination with this. So there is going to be a little bit of strong overlap in your favor, which I think is actually not bad. Also, I mean, you have maximum E-Telly in this format. So, you know, you should be getting to most of your key components and at least getting to what I think is a pretty solidly decent board all the way around. Next up, we have Ursarctic. Now, evidently, this has been something that we've seen people try in the TCG. My friend was telling me when I was talking to him about this earlier. Evidently, you use the Ursarctic to end up tributing the Mitsurugi cards, and you basically have a good form of consistent bodies kind of rotating and getting set up. I am actually surprised by this, if you want my honest opinion, because I never thought that we would see Ursarctic cards being used in the way that they are here. But this proves to me that there is a science to this, that there is something that is workable with this concept. And while we actually have all of the Mitsurugi stuff, this might be something that you want to translate in the TCG and give a shot, because honestly, this is a beautiful concept. And anything to make Ursarctic playable is a win in my opinion. Next up here, we have Radiant Typhoon with Tri-Brigade. So this is well, how many level 3s can we kind of get set up and kind of rotate through? Because, you know, Radiant Typhoon does have access to some of the extra free attributes. And I mean, we just got the extra kit for this deck for the extra extender, which is broken. So, I mean, this is going to come down to, you know, the Radiant Typhoon stuff is going to be free bodies. If you got an MST down, I mean, sure, if your opponent's got no back row, you're just off to getting set up, which is very, very nice, actually. They also managed to round this out at 42 cards, which I think is good. They've also got the cross-out targets in here. That's probably why you're seeing, you know, the odd one of choices that you got, and also only 2 Drolls, 2 Fuas, and 2 Maxi, which I think all works out very, very nicely for what you're trying to cram into this deck. So congratulations to seeing this pile actually work out. Next up here, we actually have some Lightsworn action. Now, this build is playing triple magical midfield breaker. That is insane to me, actually, that they not only got away with that, but they're also playing, you know, the sphere modes in here as a board breaker sort of scenario. The thing I would be afraid with even looking at a concept or an idea with this is there has got to be so much bricking that you are going to see coming down with a deck like this, because you are asking for some of the probably most inconsistent hands that you could be imagining coming up here. But I do appreciate that, you know, for a concept and things working with this, that you've got some good consistency. Also, Curious is a broken card in this format, man. The fact that they get to use this is nuts. And of course, we do have some agents, or at least a concept of agents. The fact that they wanted to play Counter Fairy today, but decided to not really have the best draws. I was reading their report, and it unfortunately said that they didn't actually draw into the Counter Fairy part of the deck, which is kind of sad, actually, because, you know, I could have imagined that this would have been something great, especially since you got the Venuses and stuff coming down here and generating the bodies. You have the Drastic Drop-Offs, which are just going to be great consistency pieces. And, of course, you know, all of the rest of this deck kind of coming together, actually getting you some good advantage. But it was a good concept, honestly, especially seeing Honest and Archlord Christia coming together within the same deck. Really, really, really seems kind of cool, and honestly, seems like a dream to do a thing. I do kind of question only 2 Solemn Judgments, but I mean, this is definitely a concept that you could be working with for sure. Next up, it just has to be the 60 card piles, and I've been noticing that a lot more of the OCG has been experimenting around with the idea of abusing reasoning to kind of turbo out these different decks and being able to set up. You also do see that you have the triple threatening roar in here, a lot of the, you know, kind of standard stuff with that. But you also do get to see the 10 activations, and it's time to blow out your opponent, which is hilarious. Now, this build does get to abuse Dimensional Barrier in it, which is kind of crazy, but also, I mean, you got triple Reasoning, you got triple Monster Gate, all of the bits and pieces that this build is able to use is crazy. We also do get to see Fiend Comedian access as well. Yeah, this has got to be one of the scarier builds within the space right now, just for trap access. So I do kind of ponder the question, you know, are we going to be able to handle something like this if we were to have this? I don't think so. Ooh, we have, is that Timelords with argosar? Whoa. So, and Odeon? So this is one of those, we took all of these ideas together and we said, you know what? There's a level of consistency here that maybe somebody had missed in the dueling setup. So I think that's actually kind of interesting that, you know, you're using the argosar stuff to beam out trap cards that act as an extra form of interruption. But you can also use the Time Lord stuff to possibly clean up any sort of issues that the opponent might be giving you. So this just ends up being, how many bits and pieces do we need to have for interruptions, and how much can we actually achieve? I don't know. I'm actually looking at this pile. This would be something that I would want to try out in Genesis format, which is a crazy thing to see that a YCSJ list is, you know, sparking that level of interest. Next up, we do get to see, yes, finally, some Art Mage action. Yes, Art Mage was one of the more interesting choices that we've seen people discussing, because they got this new fusion that actually just turns Finmel into basically a 1-card, you know, combo piece, which is actually really, really strong. We also do see Super Polys. We see Raigekis here being some of those devastating combo pieces to be able to kind of get that full interruption line. I do see access to the Secretarion Dragon is going to be absolutely bonkers. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, you do want to be seeing, which is absolutely amazing. And we've also got access to, you know, everything else that this style of deck would want to be giving you. So, you know what? I think Archmage might actually be a decent challenger kind of going forward, because you have so many cool bits and pieces to work with that it's actually really, really cool. Next up here, good old Dragon Tail. The fact that Dragon Tail still effectively has Borreload Savage Dragon, and the fact that you're able to use all of the stupid free access with the Spoon and Friends is so good, man. I really do appreciate that, you know, these bits and pieces come together. You know, Crowley being able to free add it back to your hand, beam it on down, and congratulations, you know, you got all this free advantage. You also do get the branded package in here with the new cards. So this is so good, man. The fact that if the TCG had Borreload Savage Dragon, that we would be seeing these sorts of broken interactions kind of coming together. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that we don't have to see this, for my sanity, honestly. The branded package is absolutely free value. And then our last list here was somebody decided to dust off the old Pendulum FTK. I swear I tend to see this like every other week when we tend to look at these events, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to have this Pendulum FTK in the back of their mind. They're going to go, hey, we're going to slam this down on the table. You're going to have to find a way to deal with this. And unfortunately, it just doesn't end up being something that decks can do. You end up just getting FTK'd and it just wipes you out. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's just how it kind of goes right now. So what do you guys think about all of these cool interactions? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.